Commies, Bucs. This was a classic. All right. This was a game that, was the Sunday night game. So NBC was taking a bit of a risk, I'd say, taking this game. You had two teams that I think in both cases, most people would not put on the upper echelon, but they put on a show. I mean, it was back and forth. The Bucs had the lead. It looks like they were going to run away with it. The Commanders failing to convert on a lot of those fourth downs, but they take advantage of the Bucs' mistakes. Baker Mayfield with a brutal fumble at the end of that game. I hate it for him because I love Baker Mayfield. Brutal fumble, gives the ball right back, and even then, it took took him into like a fourth down try to get that touchdown there to tie the game or to take the lead. I think at that point, the Bucs then, or actually, yeah, take the lead because I think it was 20-17 at that point, and then they went down the field and tied it, and then it was final drive and Jaden Daniels, man. You want to talk about rookie? Like, I don't know what it is about being the number 2 overall pick. Like, it's funny. It's funny how things like this, like, sort of change. So, back in the day, it used to be that if you were the number 1 pick, that like the pressure would like make you better in a sense. I think of like Peyton Manning, for example. Peyton Manning getting taken over Ryan Leaf, and Ryan Leaf completely, like, falling to basically the, next man syndrome, right? Like that kind of unfortunate, psychological thing where you're like constantly comparing yourself to that guy taken ahead of you. And now it's like, I feel like it's probably better psychologically to be taken number 2. Like with Caleb, the last 2 number 1 overall picks, Bryce Young and Caleb Williams. Both those guys got taken by largely non-existent cultures, like teams with bad baggage and poor leadership and just bad all around. And you might say the same thing was the case with the Commanders when they took Jaden Daniels. And it kind of was, but you bring in Dan Quinn, you already have new ownership. I think they had a new general manager at that point as well. You bring in a lot of veterans. Guys like Austin Eckler and Zach Ertz and Bobby Wagner on the defensive side. A lot of old heads, so to speak. I remember, this is funny, like looking back, just at, how good the Commanders ended up being. Like, I think it was a Reddit comment where someone said, like, the 2019, this would have been, like, the greatest roster ever. And it's funny because, yeah, I guess it probably would have been a much better roster in 2019. But, Terry McLaurin, De'Ami Brown, and Austin Eckler, and Zach Ertz in your offensive fire and your offensive weapons. Now, is it world beating? No, but when you got a rookie quarterback who just needs a little bit of confidence, he needs like bodies, needs like actual human beings to be able to throw the ball to. Terry McLaurin is a threat. Okay, Scary Terry is one of the more underrated wide receivers, I think, in the league because he plays for Washington, and that's no fault of his own. Washington doesn't get a lot of national broadcast games. They're not a big market, which is ironic given it's the nation's capital. But Jaden Daniels, man, he is something else. And look, a little bit of a look ahead. This is the team that ended up getting matched up with the Lions. Now, full disclosure, I, of course, think the Lions are going to win this game. However, there's a couple of things to talk about here. He's shown an ability, Jaden Daniels has shown an ability to make large comebacks. He's shown an ability to move and make plays on his feet and be a bit of an innovator. And that can be a danger for Detroit. We saw how well Josh Allen played as an innovator against the Lions. Aaron Glenn is going to have to contain him. And I don't know how he's going to do it. And Aaron Glenn's a fine coordinator. He's been able to outmaneuver these guys before. I want to say this is the first rookie quarterback that we've had to play this year, I think. That can't be right. It might be. I guess Caleb Williams. Yeah, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? Caleb Williams. We had to play him. What was this? Oh, okay. I thought maybe I saw an MLB notification. I thought maybe something happened, but yeah, he's a good quarterback. and he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. He probably already has, at this point. I don't know how the voting works or when the voting actually happens, but he's a very good quarterback. On the other end of it, the Commanders have the third worst running defense in the league, and that might be a problem in and of itself because you have to deal with Jahmyr Gibbs. But it's even further of a problem. Dave Montgomery is back, and this, to me, is going to change things completely. Dave Montgomery, who, for a point, we thought he was done. He was never coming back, and that could have been the straw that broke the camel's back. He doesn't get the season-ending surgery. He gets that third opinion or whatever, and it ends up being okay. And then he was a full participant in practice today. The Commanders are going to walk into Ford Field with a now rejuvenated David Montgomery, a fully rejuvenated Alex Anzalone, who just had a great game against Minnesota a couple of weeks ago, and a defense and offense, frankly, that is going to be fully rested, fully ready to go. I can't imagine we're going to be looking at a whole lot on our injury reserve or on our injury list going into this game on Saturday. I'm not saying it's going to be, an easy victory for the Lions because this is the playoffs. There's no such thing as an easy victory. But when I look ahead, okay, and I see, let me just double check it. I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look. Right now, the spread on ESPN Bet is Detroit minus 9.5 in a playoff game. ESPN Analytics has the Lions at a 73% chance to win a playoff game, a trip to the NFC Championship game for the second straight season. Okay? The Lions have never been to two straight NFC Championship games. And yet they are 9.5-point favorites. They're going in. It's at home. This crowd is going to be absolutely bananas. It's going to be a zoo in the city of Detroit on Saturday night. I can't imagine that a rookie quarterback is going to come in and be able to not feel a little bit of the pressure. And we've seen him, play not well. There was that stretch there in the middle of the year where the Commanders were just kind of getting by. They weren't really winning games. They lost to the Eagles in their first matchup, and kind of a bad performance from Daniels overall. He's not immune to bad games. However, he does appear to be immune to, the typical rookie problems, which is, turning the ball over or what's another one? Not being able to play in the clutch. He's been able to do that. He seems like he's already kind of gotten over a lot of the lumps that most rookies will have to get over. And there's still a lot of time for his career. I loved him coming out of college. I thought there was a part of me that thought he was going to be better than Caleb Williams, but I wasn't fully confident in that. And I'm still not fully confident in that at the end of it. We'll see. But as it stands, it looks a lot better for Detroit going into this game, especially with Montgomery coming back and especially with more of the defense coming back. I'm pretty sure Ennis Rakestraw could potentially be back. That'd be a big add-on to that secondary, which could use extra bodies for sure. It feels like things are moving in favor of Detroit for this matchup. And I don't want to completely write off the Commanders. There's a part of me that's like, okay, you have to, we fans have to understand they are going to score points. However, if the Lions get ahead of this game early, and if they can really bury them, if they can take advantage of mistakes made by the Commanders, like if they fail to convert on a fourth down, or if they fail to score points, or whatever, the kicker misses a field goal, whatever the case may be, Lions have to take advantage. You have to control time possession. You cannot give you cannot give Jaden Daniels the football in a one-score game late in this game. I don't feel comfortable with it. Maybe it works out anyway. These games are usually always close, but that spread minus 9.5 again, according to ESPN Bet. If you value spreads, and I'm not a gambling man, but I value it from a information standpoint. How the advantage seems to be stacked. Detroit is going to be going into this game as big favorites, but I still feel like they're going to be thinking, okay, we want to make a statement, because right now a lot of the media narrative is focused on this great story for Washington Commanders and how Jaden Daniels is a rookie and he's doing all these things. He's a rookie winning a playoff game on the road of all places. Why not us kind of thing. Like you don't want to give them life, basically. You just want to shut them down and shut them down early. So, yeah. I said I wasn't really going to rant or give much of a game preview, but here I am giving a game preview. So, look, I do think the Lions are going to win, but I would not be surprised if Jaden Daniels didn't make us sweat and didn't make Ford Field hold their breath, because he's definitely capable of making games uncomfortably close.
Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed what you just saw, hit the like and subscribe button. We do live shows every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.